Ladies and gentlemen, before we can start creating with today's prompt, we need to tackle a little dephemerember German lesson, because this video only makes sense if you know a German word. So let's turn this around. The prompt for today is Ausklappseite und alte Fotos. Ausklappseite. I don't even know if that is a German word. I think you won't find this in a dictionary. This is a translation from English to German. With those junk journal terms, it's sometimes a little bit hard, isn't it? So Ausklappseite is a page which you can flip out. And that's exactly what the English prompt list says. Flip out page and old photos. The word flip out is obviously an English word, but in German and in the, let's say, casual German language, there's a word which is ausflippen, which reminds to flip out, ausflippen, flip out. That is really similar, isn't it? And ausflippen means when you freak out. Do you get it? Hopefully. Because a flip out page is for me something where I want to flip out in the German meaning. Ausflippen. Ich könnte ausflippen, wenn ich eine flip out page sehe. I would like to freak out when I see a flip out page. Do you know why? I will tell you. Welcome. This is Luise Heinzl with another video of dephemerember 2024, which is a collaboration with my dear friend Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. If you don't know her yet, why is the first question. And I'm just kidding. Check out the description box of this video. There are all of her links and you can find her there. And you can also, of course, find another video today on today's prompt on her channel. She shows you another idea, for this prompt, flip out page and old photos. And I'm really hoping that she is not flipping out. Ich hoffe, dass sie nicht ausflippt. But I think she doesn't have so many problems with flip out pages because, I'm a stalker of her channel. And a stalker is meant really, really positive in this case. And I see her doing something like this very often in her journals. I know every single of her videos, obviously. So she takes, for example, an envelope, and other people do that as well. Not only Barbara does that. And she puts that, for example, on a page like so. Glues it here so that the flap of the envelope is then attached here. And then you have a really nice flip out page. But I want to flip out in the German meaning, because how can I write on this, please, when this is like hollow underneath? It's terrible. The other thing is, even if I like to see those flip out pages, I wonder, how can you write on here? Or, I'm a person who doesn't write so much in the journals. I like to collage and show my, what I want to express more like with collages and visual things rather than writing. But even if I want to glue something here, that is really difficult because of this flippy-floppy thing here. The other thing is, when you glue the envelope here, the whole design of the next page is destroyed because somehow you have to glue it down. Of course, you could cut it here and have only a little tiny strip to glue to the next page, but if that is naked and not decorated here, looks also not so nice. That is something where I could say, okay, I can live with that. We could even, and that is something Barbara often does, when the envelope is attached, put glue here as well, and then you would have a little tuck spot here for something nice, but to be honest, not 100% my cup of tea. The other thing is, you could say, I don't want to have the flap here on this page, but I want to take it and glue it down to this page here, like this. Then you could open it like so. That would be probably my favorite thing to do if I don't want to have the flap on the other side, but the problem is the same. You could also say, okay, I turn it around. I'm very clever and I turn it around and glue it on here like so. Then the flap isn't covering the other page here. And when it then opens, it's pretty flat here. And you could write on this. That could be a really good argument for a flip out page like this. But please imagine, and that is really hard to show because it is not glued. Please imagine we flip through the journal here like so. And then I want to flip this page. Then the envelope makes strange things. If it's like so when I flip this page, I mean, look, then it does something like this. I can't handle that. That is terrible for me. Because of that, I want to take this envelope and I want to, make a little flip out page improvement procedure and show you what I came up with to solve all of those problems at the same time. Speaking about problems, perhaps you don't have old photos, or perhaps you have new photos and you want to make them old. I have something here prepared for you because I thought not everyone has access to old photos or photos at all. Perhaps you want to have a quick thing, then you could take this, which is a freebie available on my website. The link is down below in the description box. And then you could print that out and use these photos. Perhaps you also want to try some of the techniques I show you in this video, and a little hint, or not hint, a spoiler, I guess. I also found out a new technique. I will show you that in a second. I found that out a few hours ago and I'm really, really, really excited about that. And perhaps you want to try that out, but perhaps you also want to try some of the other techniques I show in this video, first on a print instead of a real photo. If you don't have a printer, you could of course also, and not a, sorry, if you don't have a printer and you don't have photos like these or real photos, you could also take, for example, postcards, images from books. That doesn't necessarily have to be something like this. Yeah, you could also use normal paper with a pattern or so. Yeah, that would also work for this idea. I mean, the prompt list says old photos, but that doesn't mean that you can't use something else. If you don't have photos, yeah, well, then please don't sit in the corner and cry, but use something else. If you only have a black and white printer, please try to print this freebie in white. Sorry, not in white. Oh, Luise, I need a sip out of this dephemerember mug. Otherwise, I think I can't do this thing. Oh my goodness. It's already pretty late here, and I just decided to turn on my camera and my coffee machine at the same time. Perhaps that was not such a good idea. Holy moly. If you only have a black and white printer, please try to print this freebie in black and white. These photos look really amazing in black and white as well. So, that being said, let's talk about the paper I have printed these on. I have chosen, and I will come a little closer with the whole pile of the photos, so that you can see the difference to what I normally have in my videos. Normally, I use matte photo paper to print. This is a semi-glossy satin looking paper. Can you see? It's like medium glossy, but I would say more matte than glossy. And I found this really nice for printing these photos because they look so real. I don't know if that comes to you with the camera, but please believe me, these are like, if you don't know it, you think you have a real photo in your hands. And that is really nice. This photo paper is excellent. The quality is really nice, but it also has some diva features. I will show you the paper and I will try to link that down below in the description box for you. If it's not available on Amazon USA, I will link it on Amazon Germany so that you can have, you know, a starting point for searching for this. But I have something, please do me a favor, or better, I should better say, do yourself a favor and watch this video first before you buy this photo paper. Yeah, because perhaps you know that I'm a really big fan of Photo Paper Direct. I have a ton of different substrates from them, and I really love this brand, and I would not say that this is good if I hadn't tested it. And the problem is with this photo paper, somehow my inkjet printer, even if this is meant for using in inkjet printers, is not doing what it should do. It looks nice, but in a second I will show you that there's a little problem. But this paper is called Photo Paper Double-Sided Professional, and here it says satin. Perhaps you want to make a screenshot or write that down or so if you want to search for this. The brand is Photo Paper Direct, and this is, you know, I get a little bit of money from Amazon if you buy it from the Amazon link, but I don't get anything from Photo Paper Direct. Yeah, we are not collaborating or something like that. This is not an advertisement or whatever. This is just my personal opinion about this paper. When I take this out from my printer, and you can already see my fingers are already a little bit dirty. That's not because I was not in my shower, but that is because of this. Because when you go over this, and I do this really, can you hear? With nearly no pressure, I have the ink on my fingers. Why am I showing you this? And why am I saying, perhaps you want to buy this paper? That sounds a little bit weird. That is because I found out the coolest thing I have ever seen on a photo paper like this. Take your finger, or you could also, if you don't like to have the ink on your finger, take a dry paper towel Oh, I destroyed the photo here, but that is not the problem of the paper, but that was my fault. The surface lifted up, but was lifted up here, but that is also a cool effect. Obviously, this paper has a coat on it, and look, you get a nice and really, yeah, authentically aged thing here within seconds. But what I actually wanted to say is, if you use your finger or a paper towel, you can distress the edges of this photo or the whole photo just by using your finger. How freaking cool is that? But it will get even better. Wait a second, please. I will do this here even more so that you can also see how much you can do that. You can nearly remove everything if you wanted that with your finger. Of course, I want an old looking photo and not an erased image or so, but look how easy that is, and you can do that as far as you want. Zack, distressed. Nice. But let's take another one. And let's take just some water, normal water. You can now either take a paintbrush or your fingers. Throw this on here. With the paintbrush, the drops would get smaller, but I like to have it really extreme on this one. Now, you could think, and that's what I thought when I found this out first as well, you could think, well, when he has water on it, probably the ink from the printer now gets lifted off, because when I can take my finger and go over this and distress this with my finger without the need of sandpaper or so, then you could expect that the ink will get lifted off now. But that doesn't happen. But then my brain told me, don't stop here. And that is exactly the reason why I show this in this video, even if I know that the most of you will not be able to run to a drawer and take out this photo paper. But why am I showing you what I show here? Because I want to encourage you to try things with the things you have at home. Because that is how the coolest things can happen. Things you couldn't even think about before you played around with the stuff. Because, look. And I don't say that you can get this with every surface you have, or with every substrate you have in your craft room. Of course not. This is somehow something that happens perhaps only on this photo paper. But if I can get something like this on this paper, yeah, let's say by accident, then it is also possible that you can find out things which can happen on the substrates you have, which are then probably different to what I have here, but you can have a nice play with your mediums and with your papers and so on. And perhaps you want to experiment a little bit with your printer as well. You could try different techniques on regular old photos as well. It doesn't have to be a print. But what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that when you play around, you can get the most amazing things which you can't think about before playing around. Because look, if you let this air dry, these drops will not disappear. They will stay here exactly like they are. How freaking cool is that? You could even say, I take this, I put a little bit of water on here, take my finger and not, don't throw it on like I did it before, but decide for several spots where you want to have this effect. Perhaps like on the edges or there where it's a little lighter, you can try that out. And of course, please, if you have such a photo paper where you think, oh, I have this medium glossy or, how does it say, satin paper, when you have a package where it says medium gloss or semi-glossy or satin, take it out and try this and try if your paper makes something like this as well, even if you don't have the same brand. Now I will throw some tiny things on here, not only on the edges, but also a little bit in the middle so that it doesn't look so strange. Then I'm going to take a dry paper towel again, just to be on the safe side and don't smear the other ink from the other paper towel to my photo now. So as you can see, nothing is here. You can even do this, if you don't like to have this on your finger, you can also make the paper towel a little bit damp. That also works, but I have the feeling that if the paper towel is dry, you have a better control over the things. And when you now go over this, you can already see here how aged and nearly moldy that looks, but without being moldy. And I think moldy is also not the right word. Mold is this, this really stuff that we don't want to have on photos or wherever. But do you know those photos where it looks exactly like this here, where you think, mold? It probably is not mold, but it looks a little bit like it has gotten wet or so, and then it has dried again. And perhaps you like this effect, but then you think, what if there was mold? Then that would be not so nice. And here you can get these, like, let's call them moldy areas. I think you know what I mean. Without a danger for your health and within seconds. Look, I can let these buildings here disappear nearly completely, but you can still see that there is like a shadow of the building, or let's say something which is behind a fog or so, and this suddenly gets so concrete because when I don't do that there. And perhaps let's blend this here a little bit. And also, I'm so excited. Sorry, I'm mixing the topics here somehow. Try to get this kind of blending with sandpaper. In my eyes, that is not possible. You can do the smoothest blending just by, I mean, between these distressed areas and the concrete photo, which is then left there, just by going over that with your finger or the paper towel. I mean, this is probably pretty extreme already because, you know, I want to demonstrate this whole stuff here. And then I do like bigger areas. Yeah, than I would do on my normal photos I would want to put in my journal. Yeah, it's perhaps more than I would normally do, but isn't this just cool? I mean, what is this? Let's try another one. I first need to choose the one I want to put on my flip out page. In the original version, I think I will take this one here. This shall become then something like a focal point. But let's perhaps take this and let's try to bring these buildings to the foreground and the rest to the background. I'm really curious, and I haven't tried that out before, how that will look, because here it is pretty dark compared to this one here. Here the light is like nearly the same on the whole photo, and here it's pretty dark around those buildings in the middle and the buildings are light. But is it still possible to do this so that the center of the photo gets gets concrete and the rest is then this other effect? What you see here is just the ink from my finger. It's not coming, please don't be confused. This brown stuff is not the ink coming off from the paper, but it's what comes off from my finger. And this reacts obviously within seconds. You don't have to let this soak in for 2 hours or so. Just a few seconds. Make this dry. So then let's take the paper towel and let's see what happens when we do this really extreme here on the frame. Oh, shall we? Oh, let's have this lantern also stay here perhaps.
Dephemerember where hearts unite. With every piece we shine so bright. Across the world our spirits soar, creating together forevermore. From simple scraps to...
like so. And let's then, because this now, I mean, you could leave this exactly like it is and it would be awesome. But I want to show options here, obviously. I take my finger now, and now I go in and try to blend this harsh frame a little bit so that it is not this rectangular shape anymore, but a little softer blending. And the water I splattered into the middle, we can already see it here. I will show you that up close in a second. And now you can blend this and look, look how much light here suddenly is when you do it like that. Can you see? You can change the whole vibe of the photo. Can you see these little dots there? That's from the water. And it will stay there. I mean, this is still obviously a tiny little bit damp, but when it's completely dry, the pattern of the drops stays there exactly like it is. I will just cut all of these photos into irregular rectangles, and with irregular I mean irregular in size, and decide what I want to do next. Oh my goodness, I forgot a very, very important step. Holy moly, what is going on in my brain? Luise, take a sip of coffee. Take your dephemerember mug and take a sip of coffee. That helps. Because Holy cow. We found out that this stuff is not permanent. I nearly forgot to say that. Obviously, if I would take my finger now and I would go over this, I would get this stuff to my finger, and this is not permanent yet. Sorry. But I found a way to make it permanent as well. A really, really easy way. Let's just separate these. It's not too late to make them permanent. Don't freak your freak, Luise. You can just do this. Put the coffee out of the way because you don't want to have this stuff in your coffee. This is called Artist's Soft Fixative. It's by Winsor and Newton. It's, yeah, as the name says, a fixative, which you can use to seal the surface of something. I will link this down below for you. I bought this on Amazon. This is a really good thing. I use this on a really regular basis when I have problems like this. So I will quickly spritz, or not spritz, spray is the better word, I think, over these. Please, if you want to do that, and if you have this and the photo paper, then please spray the photos before cutting them. That is way easier, of course. Okay, so here we go. It's just a few minutes later. This has dried. This fixative dries pretty fast. Now I want to go on with some alcohol inks because I know that many of you have alcohol inks. Of course, you could also do this step. If you don't have the paper, use some sandpaper, for example, and go over this, or use other tools to distress the surface or whatever. I just want to show options, what you can do. And of course, you don't have to do all of these steps. Yeah, you can also, you know, skip some of those steps and just do what you like and what you want with the mediums you have or the tools you have. So I just throw some latte on here, and I take this and I do this really, you know, randomly. I just dip these into these little drops. Let's take another color, perhaps slate. That is perhaps a little bit too gray. Where is Pebble? Here, this is a little lighter. I think I like that better in this context. Let's throw some of that on here. This is perhaps a little confusing because where's the photo now? It has, or where are the photos now? They will go pretty much to the background, but I like that you can still see multiple details. Here, for example, this car and the people, they are still visible. Here, this piece of the church is still visible. And that is what I like, that you can discover the tiniest sceneries on these pieces. And the single pieces look really, really interesting, I think. Is that already enough? I think I want another color. Somehow I think I need a pop of color in here. What does the focal point? Yes, focal point tell us? This is the focal point of our flip out page. It tells us some rust, perhaps. Here we go. I think this color comes pretty close to what is in this photo. I'm so good. Thank you, Ranger, for giving us this color of alcohol ink. Okay, so when these are completely dry, we can start gluing them on here. And with this step, I really try to overcome my perfectionism. I don't know how successful that is going to be, but let's see. I want to take these and I want to just glue them down without thinking about the arrangement, really randomly. And then you come to a point where you realize that you can't place them next to each other anymore. Don't freak your freak, just take them and stick them down. As you can see, I have a few pieces left here. And I want to take those and also glue them down here because I want more overlapping areas. If you want to have more contrast on the edges of these pieces, the higher you come with your layering, take your scissors and go along the edges of some of these pieces to make them a little rough, and with that they also get white and a little distressed so that they look different than the others. That's just a tiny detail, but I think it makes such a collage really into something different. It's nicer then. Can you see that here? Hopefully. So I will let this dry for a few minutes, and then I will go to my sewing machine. I will go around with a zigzag stitch here, and then I will also set some accents with my sewing machine to the other areas. Now you might think, what the heck is she doing? This is an envelope and she will then lose this pocket. Yes, that's completely correct. I don't need the pocket. I want to make a flip out page and not a flip out pocket. But of course, you could also take another paper, make your collage, go to your sewing machine, and then stick the whole paper to an envelope so that you can keep this pocket. But I don't need it. Options, options, options. Decisions, and some scraps. I will be back in a second. So this is what it looks like now. I first went around with the zigzag, and then I went, I don't want to say crazy because it's straight, but with a running stitch over this. I think that looks really nice. I love these colors. And ooh, oh, it makes me so happy when I chose a color palette. And then, you know, with this rust ink, the decision using the rust ink, this makes, I can't speak. This is wonderful. I want to put this on here as a focal point. And I also want to sew around here so that this photo is really embedded in the background. I will first take this to my sewing machine. First, one round zigzag. Then several rounds with a running stitch, and then after that I will put this here and I will sew along here, here and here so that it's attached to the envelope, but that it's a top-loaded pocket. Laughing and having joy and crying are so close together when it comes to junk journaling. Oh, look at this. I want to dance because this turned out so wonderfully. I've just taken the threads from my sewing machine, which were laying around there, and I've also included them in here, but oh my goodness, I have accidentally sewn the flap on the thing. Oh no. Why, Luise? Why? Please open the envelope, okay? And then sew through this, and then this is absolutely no problem. Perhaps I just need some vacation or so. I have no idea how that could happen. But let's just tape it and then let's go on without thinking about it anymore, okay? Let's not talk about it either. Is it then neither? Don't talk about it neither, either? I don't know. Look how wonderful this tape by Ideology fits to this envelope color. You can use this tape also to decorate your envelopes. Oh, Mann, ey. This is a situation in the German language, zum Ausflippen, to flip out. So, to freak out. Okay. When we have that, stay calm, Luise, just stay calm. Let's take some tags and let's see what would look great in this pocket. These smaller ones would look really nice, but when I look at it now, they are nearly a little bit too small. I have something which is really extreme, and that is this and this. I know the colors are crazy in combination with this, but I want to try it. Perhaps I would need to cut them smaller. Oh. This would probably be perfect. I mean, I know that this is really crazy, but when I think about the colors I have in the journal, and I think this fits somehow also really well. In the camera, this looks not like in reality. I just realized that. Let's put this out of our view. Even this is nice. I think I'm going to use this one. I have, you see, they are siblings, but this one, we will use this one, and I can tell you why. This has more orange on the top here, and more of the pink will disappear in the pocket, and then it's not so much pink. Yeah. And oh no, jetzt bin ich ja abgerutscht. Oh nein. I think I will glue this piece here. What do you think about miracles happen when you believe? Be open to whatever comes next. I think that fits really well together, at least in my weird brain. And now this needs to go, not forever, but for the moment, because now I want to make the following thing. I want to punch a hole in here, and let's then, where is it? This weird photo. You can see I've already punched some circles out from here. This is also an old photo. This has had a really weird forest on it. I didn't like that photo. I have this in my stash for ages. So I thought, why can't I use these nice pieces here? Because when they are circles, they look nice. But I need something else to back this because it's not sturdy enough. Let's just glue that together so that it is a little more sturdy. Let's then take our crocodile and make holes to the center of both of these little things. I think I've just found the perfect page to attach my flip out page. But you don't necessarily need a journal when you make an ephemera piece like this. You can also make this loose, prepare these little guys. I will show you how I will attach this to the page now. You can then store that in your ephemera storage, and when you have your journal where you want to put that in, then just attach it like I will attach it now. So we will need both of these circles we've just made in a second, and 2 brads and a thread. And we need something, let's see if Barbara has something in here for us to use. Needs to be long enough so that I think this is not long enough. No, it is not long enough, but we could make this work because I would love to have this together here. The colors fit really well. This is one of Barbara's scraps. I also have this from one of the other videos. This was from the Dubai chocolate video, but perhaps like this. So what you need is something, I mean, it would work with only this thing as well, but Barbara's and my challenge is to include at least one scrap from the other into the prompt of the day. So I'm thinking about making a nice thing here with both of these papers, even if this would be enough size-wise. And for the function, it would be enough. You want to search for something that you can attach to the page like a belly band, so that the envelope then can go in here with the flap and that you can still take it out. So we put glue on here and on here. And you can also make some decorative stapling. And now I can take this and let this slide in here. Then it can close like this. We will then put the bread through this little ring, turn it over, take our thread and make a knot here. Let's take some glue. I put the glue also here to the knot so that, you know, this can't open over time. Put this through here. And then I just spread the legs of the bread on the other side here of the envelope. I want that this is on one level with this one. So I place this here. I take a pen, mark where the hole needs to go. I take either my scissors or an awl, poke through here carefully. And now I want to make sure when I put my glue on here that I only put a little bit here, just that it strengthens the area of this paper here, which is now around the legs of the bread a little bit. But I don't want to put the glue on the whole circle because we need this space under the circle to wrap the thread around for this kind of closure. So I put this thing through the hole. And then I spread the legs of the bread here. And now we can take this thread and wrap that around here to close this. Just like so. And I left this a little longer on purpose so that I can now take a little, no, it's not bread. How is this called? Bead? Bead? Oh my goodness. It's in the middle of the night here. I'm so sorry. It's now, oh, now it's exactly midnight here. I can't think, you know what this is. You can take whatever you want, a button or this thing or whatever you like. I mean, you could even do it without this thing, but I like to have something on here so that I can see where this is and where I can untie it. That is the word. So then when you flip this, this can't open anymore, yeah, because of our little closure. If you want to open it, you can just untie this. Now you can flip through your journal. You can flip out this page without, yeah, any problems. And if you want to write on it, just take it out completely and do the stuff. And then you can just put it back in here. Do you like this idea? Hopefully. Okay. Flip out page and old photos is done. And if you want, we can see tomorrow again with the prompt mini pocket letter and specimen. I'm really excited to tackle that prompt. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. Have a very great and creative day. See you. Bye bye.